to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
Welcome back to the Changing Stage. You're here with me, Florentino Buenaventura, and I've got a co-host, Mr. Dave Chesavage, and we've got a great show for you today. We have Mr. Jay King coming back. Jay, are you online?
I'm right here.
Oh, man. Good to hear from you, brother. How you doing, man?
Wonderful.
Where are you at today? Are you in L.A. or are you on tour?
I'm in L.A.
Oh, awesome, we Well, hey, we wanted to bring you back because we had such a great time, and we definitely appreciate you coming on the show with us here today. You've got some amazing things going on. I've been, hearing the buzz. You've got the radio show we talked about before. The band is on tour. You are doing some great things. I just got a chance to see the new video. Man, it's an awesome video. With That Ain't Love. You got the coming to stop motion kind of thing going on. Tell me what's going on. What are all the things that you have in store for us right now?
Well, right now, we're working. The new album is going to be coming out in July. It's available on iTunes now as a digital download, and Amazon and the Google store. But the Consciousness album, the full-length album, is going to be coming out in July.
Yeah.
And we have dates. We have the single "Ain't Love." We're going for radio starting May 26th and 27th. We go to radio.
Okay.
And we're doing live dates. We're doing everything that I think a group is supposed to do when they have new product. We're just support it in every way we can, and that's why we're doing radio. We're always available to do interviews and stuff like that because we know how important it is to the process of selling music and also to the process of letting our fan base know that we are still out here, we're still making music, and we're still, we still need the support of them in order to do what we do for a living. Yeah.
I'm connected to you on Facebook, and I see all the rants from everybody that just love your new tracks. You've been able to share a few of them. You shared the album with me, and it's a great album. And again, like I said, That Ain't Love is definitely a hit. It's meant to go to #1 on the charts. I also got a chance to see you out at the Pala Casino, man. That was just a great show. You did that with the Commodores, and you guys killed it. You killed it. Now you mentioned that at that time you're going to have a live band. So are the current dates right now going to be with the live band, or are you doing still just we do track dates, we do band dates. In July, all of our dates are with a band. We have one other track date in June, and the plus and the minus to the new music business. Yeah. The plus is that you have so many outlets, you have so many ways to connect with your audience. There's people can buy music instantly, over the internet. Either as a download or ordering physical product. Yeah. And, they have this thing called the track date where you sing live, but you have your music on a hard drive. Yeah. Music is played and you get to perform. And what that does for a promoter is it allows him to bring on a number of name acts at a cheaper rate so that the promoter doesn't have so much cost when it comes to, backline. Backline is, the musical instruments and, change over time and all the different things that it comes with having a band. Yeah. So we do those dates because we're a group. We're basically a singing group that has a band behind us. But, you have a group like the Commodores who are a band. They're known as a band. They get to play with their band. For us, we love when we do band dates. It's our fate. That's the best date that we can do for ourselves.
But we recognize that we're in a business that's changing, and a business that says that, you have to change with the time. Changing with the time means you have to do track dates. So we do whatever is called for from the promoter of the event, because that's the person who's paying the money.
Yeah, you guys are definitely on exceptionally relevant, man. The new sound, I think, is right on track with what we hear on, in the clubs with, the radio stations that are playing, the top 40 stuff. Are you how are you bridging the promotion of that? Are you using radio promoters, or are you doing it all grassroots through the internet? What's your plan on that end?
For radio?
Yes.
For promotion. Well, we used a radio promoter in the beginning. We spent about $26,000.
Wow.
And the record went to number 27 on Billboard and number 30 in Media Base, All Access.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I wasn't getting what I thought I should out of it. So I pulled the record back and started dealing directly with the trade magazine to talk to radio. So I think I'll have a lot more success doing it that way. I like being in control, and I think we're at a time in our careers where it's important for us to be in control of our destiny and who's working for us and what they're doing and how effective and efficient they are. And if they're not, we need to do that job ourselves.
Yeah.
But I'm not afraid to do the work myself.
Yeah.
And I think that artists have to get to the point where they don't just call themselves artists, but we call ourselves entrepreneurs, because that's what we are. We control brands, and we're corporations, and we own we own intellectual properties, because our music are intellectual property.
Exactly.
So I use the guys for radio to do it, but they're too expensive, and they're taking a lot of power out of your hands.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing it myself.
It makes total sense. I mean, the business is different. The model's different. You got major labels that are actually looking at just becoming marketing and distribution machines right now. They're not necessarily out there developing the talent like they once did. And you've got great groups like your group, and I'm sure, with your expertise, with your knowledge, you've been able to impart that to other groups as well. I know that in the past you've developed, talents when, you had, the Club Nouveau first came out, you developed Timex Social Club, you developed, Victor Porter, and, LaRue and all those folks. Do you have any other talents that you're bringing up along with this new project from Club Nouveau?
I'm not as young as I used to be. And, as a young man, I was able to do that because I had a lot of energy. But no, I don't have any group that I'm per se bringing up. But I do a radio show every Monday and Wednesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the music business.
Yeah.
And through that platform, a lot of people, I get to impart a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, a lot of connections to the music business and to people that are relevant in the music business, to young people and old alike, people that are just coming in and people that are veterans in it. So I still do it, but I just do it a different way. Gotcha.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. And you mentioned, we talked about before, like some of the things that these young artists are going through. And, it's amazing that some of them can actually keep their sanity, and with the business being what it is. One of the topics that was brought up to me recently, and, I wanted to kind of throw that out to you is, what do you think about, the direction of, the messaging in the music? So, for example, it seems like every young girl who comes out has to do the Miley Cyrus, where you got to see how extreme you can go, how overtly sexual you can present yourself. What's your standpoint? Because you guys are a class act. You've worked with nothing but class acts. You presented, the messaging. That ain't love. And you started off kicking it with, hey, if this is what you do, you don't have it right. So, what's your thoughts on that?
I'm not understanding your question. Are you asking me what do I think about
where the music's going right now with the, all the heavy need to be more sexual, to be more, over the top, to drive that type of message.
Look at our society, Florentino. you know, we want to blame it just on music, but look at everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen to television. You know, there was a time you couldn't say darn.
That's true.
Now they're saying bitch on television. Now they're actually cussing on prime television.
Yeah, true.
There was a time when nobody could be sexually clad on television. Now you see all kinds of girls with the clothes hanging off, and so music is only a reflection of what society is. So, I say to recording artists, to people that want to be in our business, we have a responsibility for the vibration that we put in the universe. So be responsible. Now you can't blame it on the record company. You can't say, this is what my record company made me do, because record companies don't really exist until you've had a hit record or until you made such an impact that they want to be in business with you. So it's really you. But, you're responsible for what you put out there. You're responsible for how you interact with the public.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised by it at all. I'm not surprised by it. We live in a very risque world. We live in a world where money is important.
Yeah, it's driving.
That's frightening.
And it's amazing. I've watched everything grow. When we started back in the '80s, with you folks, and we're going to be taking a few short moments with the sponsors right now. We'll be bringing Jay back here in about 3 minutes. Thank you very much for joining us with the Changing Stage Radio Show. Be right back.
Thank you for listening to WS Radio. Improve your business and your life with useful information from experts and thought leaders. WS Radio is radio with ROI.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goley, one thing that you have helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get to the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, believe it or not, delayed food sensitivities. And once we determine what the real reason is, we put a plan of action together with medication that we get them off slowly, and we put them on an all-natural approach, and the results are amazing.
Incredible. I mean, there's so many people that can say they don't live their lives with migraines anymore thanks to Progressive Medical Center.
And that's what's exciting and rewarding to us as physicians, because we help our patients take control of their health, and that's why they're living well.
Why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today? Don't live in pain. Don't have migraines anymore. Just go to their website, progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life. Live it well.
Your guy, Doug Young, here for Sports Squawk Saturday with your guy, Doug Young, here on WSRadio.com. Hear hot Charger talk from the biggest names in sports every Saturday here on WS Radio.
In the military, things can change in an instant. At Navy Mutual Aid Association, we understand because it's our life too. That's why our dedication to serving the life insurance needs of our military veterans and their families is unrivaled. Navy Mutual offers superior life insurance protection without military service restrictions and limitations. A single focus on providing the peace of mind military families are looking for. That's what we do. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve. Call 800-628-6011 or go to NavyMutual.org.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Talk to
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
We're back, the Changing Stage with Mr. Jay King and Dave Chesavage. Hey Jay, you back on?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Jay's been calling in from L.A., and we've been talking about some good things. He's kicking some great knowledge for us. I mean, a man of wisdom and a man of sharing that wisdom. And you also had a lot of time in the business. You've worked with a lot of folks, and I know you got a lot of great stories, Jay. So, like, what would be one story that kind of sticks out to your mind that you'd like to share with the audience?
Well, when we did Lean on Me, it wasn't picked to be single, and it wasn't a single at Black Radio in the beginning. It actually happened because pop radio started playing it. But when the record charted, it charted at pop radio in the top 40. It charted at Black Radio at number 79. And it never went to number one on Black Radio. It went to number 2, but it went to number 1 pop. And we were out on the road, and so we're working. We don't know the record is on number 1 until a few days after at number 1 because we were touring.
Yeah.
And I get a telegram from Bill Withers congratulating me when we're going number 1.
Oh man, that is so awesome.
I mean, on Lean on Me going number 1.
Yeah.
And then he called me. So that was probably one of the greatest things that happened, aside from meeting, having Muhammad Ali at my house.
Oh man,
after Lean on Me.
That is such an amazing story, man.
In Sacramento.
Yeah, in fact, I mean, I being a young musician at that time too, we were all like, that'd be the first song you learned on piano, right? And then from there, you'd go, I really want to remake this song, and then you guys did it. And there's no remaking that remake, man. That was a classic of classics, man. And you guys did what, 10 million on that album? Is that correct?
No, we did not. We did 2.5 million.
Okay. I've seen the number there. It said you guys we've sold
10 million records. In our
throughout the history. Okay, that was the number that I looked at. I was just it's an amazing number. That's what 10 times.
And anytime you can be in a business, have success on any level.
Yeah.
And to me, success is setting out to make a record. Didn't get these, and at the time that we were coming up, didn't get these 5 major records.
Yeah.
It's successful. Anybody who did that, this is a very tough business. This is a business where people can love you one day, totally hate you the next day, where you can be on top of the world, one album, at the bottom of the ocean, from another instant. And you have to really maintain, you have to have a real foundation set inside of you that this business, what you do for a living, isn't the defining portion of who you are. And I think that's why you get a lot of drugs. People think that a lot of artists in our business recreationally. Not true.
Yeah, because
they use drugs as an escape, get away from the pain.
Yeah.
People who don't have a real sense of self, this could be embarrassing.
I agree, and like you mentioned before, you've one of the biggest reasons why you've been able to stay relevant through all this time is that you were able to stay away from all those trappings. And I know you've seen some lives ruined in the business, and it's such a
today, I hear people talking about artists, and I'll tell people, you love what they did, talk about that. Don't talk about their shortcomings. There's enough people doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm perturbed by general public when an artist is alive, they don't buy his music. They call them has-beens. They call them, whatever negative connotation they can put on them.
Yeah.
And then when they die, they go out and buy the music, talk about how great of an artist they were. We saw it with Michael Jackson. People called him Wacko Jacko. Talked about the way he looked and then when he died, they went out and bought all his music. Well, he was $400 million in debt when he was alive, $400 million to the good now. Just imagine if that debt thing hadn't been on him. It's probably part of what killed him.
Yeah, the pressures.
You see the same thing with Whitney, where one day people were saying how crazy she looked at this event, and the next day she's dead, those same people will cry. And I tell people all the time, if you love music and you love artistry, support it. And, because you can get music for free, so what? Buy it anyway. Because when you support artistry, when you support an artist that way, you're supporting that artist being able to create again. You start getting music for free, downloading music for free, taking music for free. What you're doing is you're disabling that person from being creative because they can't make a living doing it.
And I agree wholeheartedly. Now, there's different models out there that they're looking and talking about, like in Asia, because of the rampant piracy that they have had out there. A lot of those models have created a almost like a advertising model for the artist to kind of grow with, where they would basically, they'll release the product, they'll put them in movies, like in the Philippines, they'll put them in movies, they'll release the product. They make the money actually off of tying them to advertising. Are you seeing that grow in this business right now here in the West? I know that in the East, that's pretty much the way it goes.
No, not yet. You're not going to see that here for a while. The way the machine is built, they've got to bring as much cash as they can out of it.
Yeah.
Built that way.
So
I think it's coming. I think we're going to be in a more customized business than ever before.
Yeah.
Where each artist will interact with their fans in a customized way that their fans are used to. I see artists creating a real fan base and getting that fan base to contribute them every year. In other words, Florentino, you're a Club Nouveau fan, right?
Oh, big time.
So I say to you, Florentino, what I would like you to do is commit to $100 a year for Club Nouveau. For that $100, you're going to receive free tickets to our shows. You're going to receive a free Club Nouveau album, the new album. We're going to release an album every year. We're releasing an album because you're enabling us to create new music by being a contributor. I go find 5,000 Florentinos. You know what 5,000 times $100 is?
Yeah, a good
$500,000.
Good start for a project.
So, right. So if I can raise $500,000 and I spend $100,000 on the record, I spend $100,000 marketing and promoting that record, and I still spend $100,000, supporting the work, manufacturing product, and doing everything I'm supposed to do. I have $200,000 that we can live off of as a band. It's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
But now we know that we have a base that we can work from. And then we go out and do live dates, and that's where we really make our money.
Exactly. Now with that model, do you think going to like a Indiegogo or something like that is the way to go, or do you think doing it even more grassroots, maybe off of a website and a Facebook?
Well, I think eventually, I think Indiegogo was the predecessor to. I think those kind of fan sharing sites were the predecessors. But yeah. I think we have to get the middleman With the problem with the artist is the artist always has a middle person between them, audience.
Mm-hmm.
We have to remove the middle person. Because when we remove the middle person, you get a break and I get a break. So now I can give you the CD for $5. No big deal.
Yeah.
Because that middle guy wants his or her money. That's why a CD, you see a CD that's retailing in a store for $13.98. The artist isn't getting $13. A record that's retailing for $13.98 is wholesaling for $7.
Yeah.
And then the wholesale price of that is $7. And from that wholesale price, the distributor is taking his 30%. So 30% of $7 is $2.10. That leaves the artist $4.90. That $4.90, he's got to pay the dollar that it costs to manufacture the product. Now that's $3.90. That $3.90, he's got to pay writing and publishing to all the writers and publishers that record. That's another 90 cents. Now that's $3, really 91 cents, so it's $2.99. And out of that $2.99, he's got to market, promote, and advertise, and that's $1.50.
Yeah,
that leaves $1.49 left.
And that's if you're lucky. Labels historically took a big chunk.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm talking about people that sell product themselves.
Yeah.
Through a distributor.
Yep.
And if you go into a record company, the money gets even lower.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, we have to get rid of the middle.
Yeah, do it yourself. So we're getting exceptional wisdom and knowledge from Mr. J. King. We've got to take a break for the cause, and we'll be back in 3 minutes.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Love to read but just don't have the time? With Audible.com, you can catch up on reading simply by listening. Audible has the largest collection of digital audiobooks, over 85,000 titles in every genre. Listen to a bestseller on your iPhone, BlackBerry, Android smartphone, or one of 500 other compatible devices. Visit audible.com/WS Radio today and get a free audiobook when you try Audible free for 14 days. That's audible.com/WS Radio.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
When it comes to printers, Canon technology has changed the way images and text are put to paper. Canon's laser beam printer technology has redefined both color and black and white printing standards in over 80% of the world's laser printer. Canon's bubble jet printing technology has completely revolutionized color printing by consistently delivering new innovations from personal use and home office businesses to corporate solutions. Canon printers have the technology and reliability you're looking for. Learn more at Canon.com.
to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
We're back with the Changing Stage and Mr. Jay King and Dave Chesavage. Jay, you back on?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So we were just talking about the marketing and the business models of the music business. Major labels, where do you think they're going to be morphing into? Because we know that the way it was and the way it is right now is definitely not the way it's going to be. What's your perspective of that?
I mean, I think major labels will become more distribution centers the way they're doing right now, where that's where they'll make their money. I think they have to lower the If they don't lower the distribution fee, they're going to put themselves out of business. They've always done everything wrong. You have to recognize the history of our business. When our business first started, it started off as sheet music.
Yeah.
And the sheet music business turned into the record business. And the people that made sheet music were so afraid that the record business, that records were going to put them out of business. They really fought against it. But what the record business did was made the sheet music business grow. Well, then radio came along, and in the 1920s. And when radio came along, record companies were afraid of radio because they felt like people could hear music for free on the radio, but they wouldn't buy music. And so record companies wouldn't let their artists go to radio stations and do interviews because they thought they were taking away from the sales of records. But we all know that because of radio, records got more popular.
Exactly.
And then you started selling a million records versus tens of thousands of them. Well, then, radio and the music business, they join together. And then here comes the digital download. The music business thinks that the digital download is horrible. So Napster comes along, and instead of the music business embracing Napster and being in business with them, they sued them. But that spawned iTunes. So what I'm getting at is this. The music business ain't exactly a bunch of smarty pants.
Yeah.
So these people are afraid of their own shadows if it don't look like them.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for us, because we've always had to rely on these people, these institutions, in order to get our music out to the public. They set the standard. They set the term. Well, these are people with short visions. These are people that only want to own and control. They're not willing to learn. They're like dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So the music business is going to do one or two things. Either going to be, a place where catalogs sell, and that's where they're going to make their money, because they're going to sell catalogs, and they're just going to have a few artists that are at the tippity top of the business. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to become distribution centers for everybody else. Or they're going to sell all their assets to companies like Google, Microsoft, and let those companies control their catalogs, basically give music away as a premium services.
Yeah, I wholeheartily agree, man, because it's with this business, the dynamics changing. The stars aren't coming from radio now. The stars are coming from YouTube. These artists that.
No. Let me say this: radio is still the number one, number one place to hear music. There's no place bigger. Yeah. Radio, then than YouTube. YouTube is only 7% of hearing new radio. Most people discover new music radio. But radio is still the behemoth.
Now, are you thinking terrestrial radio? Or are you thinking internet radio like Pandora or
terrestrial radio?
Terrestrial radio.
Yes.
Now, where do you
read about it?
I mean, this is our
read about it the other day.
Yeah. This is our industry for sure. Where do you think everyone's looking at the internet as being the golden goose right now? Terrestrial radio is definitely a big player. Where do you see terrestrial radio kind of morphing into?
I think terrestrial radio is, you're starting to see it now where a lot of terrestrial radio stations also have internet stations.
Yep.
But I think what you're going to see, terrestrial radio is going to do what you're going to see, terrestrial radio is really going to be challenged, is when internet radio starts to be piped in cars.
Yeah.
And then people can say, I want to go to the J. King Network. I want to check out the J. King Network in their cars.
Yeah. That's
when you're going to see the shift. And I think we're 3 to 5 years away from it.
Definitely. I know that's where we're focused in on, getting a phone app and plugging your phones in. Cars are becoming actually phones now. I was talking to some friends over at AT&T the other day, and that was the joke. They're offering a mobile solution, not for the phone, but actually for the for $10 a month you can have phone data, text messaging from your car. You don't have to plug in a phone; it's actually attached to your car. So you're going to see that, I guess, with the Pandoras and obviously our stations with the J. King Network, and I see that's the next phase for sure. Terrestrial radio does have some benefits in that they've got a big audience in a local geographic, but I think the expanse of the internet and being able to be worldwide is huge. And with what you folks are doing, with all these things that we were talking about, Jay, our show really targets that. A lot of the new people coming into the business and people that are in the business, and we talked a little bit about it on the show last time. We didn't get enough time for you to kind of expand on your thoughts. How would you, if you had a new artist sitting with you today, how would you, what would you tell them to start off with? How would you get them to see where they need to start, where they, once that gets to the point B, point C, where they need to go? Give that breakdown to that listener right now that is wanting to get.
First of all, I think the first thing I would tell artists is, now because you can learn so much about the music business, by going on the internet, and reading, and going to Google. And I would tell artists first, go and Google business, so that you understand what business you're. Find out as much information as you can about it. Don't look. If you're trying to make money doing this because you want to get rich, quit now. Because you probably won't get rich if you're doing it for the wrong reason. If you're doing this business because you love it, then learn as much as you can about it and engulf yourself in it. Not just today, but the history. Listen to as much music as you can. So write with as many people as you can. Find a direction for yourself, and don't make yourself be like anybody else. Try to make your voice as unique as possibly. Whether it's what you're saying, how you're saying it, or what instrument you're using to say it with. And then be diligent. Be continual. Be disciplined. Have a direction. Be consistent. And embrace humility. So those are the things that are going to make you desirable to work with others.
And that is amazing wisdom. And like I said, you've always been an inspiration to me. I grew up in Sacramento, where you got your start. You grew talent, friends of mine, like Victor Porter and the crew, and it's just amazing. Now, I see on a website of yours where you actually offer a book and some advice.
Yeah.
How can we get more wisdom from Jay, more than just my hour show?
Well, like I said, I do a show on the music business every Monday and Wednesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. www.thejkingnetwork.com. That's 7 to 9 p.m. Standard Time, Midwest or the South. That's 9 to 11 if you're on the coast. That's 12 if you're in Canada. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, and then our book is at www.jayking.me.
www.jking.me. And the website for the radio network, one more time.
www.thejkingnetwork. HEAAYAING.
Well, Jay, man, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. You know, you're inspiration. You've been an inspiration for all my time in the business. And I see that you're going to be doing even more great things. And hopefully we can get you back again sometime in the near future. I want to wish you amazing prosperity with everything that you're doing, because it's not just for you. I know that you're doing it for so many other people out there. And we definitely appreciate you. We'll be coming back in a few short moments. We've got Dave Chesavage from Ocean Beach Digital. He's going to talk a little bit about his gear that he's made for the Nord synthesizers as well as other keyboards. So stay tuned for the next 3 minutes.
Are you an adventurous wine drinker? Would you enjoy trying a bold red with dark fruit and a spicy finish from Hungary? Or an amphora-style Chivi Pinot with layers of complex flavors? Carpathian Wines hand selects extraordinary wines from premier Central European wineries. At CarpathianWines.com, you'll find amazing dry whites, big juicy reds, even the famous Tokaja Azul. Discover award-winning limited production wines from the heart of Central Europe. Find them only at CarpathianWines.com.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at ProgressiveMedicalCenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
When did men lose their way? Was it Hollywood portraying us as wimps? Is it the daytime serials where we're on our hands and knees begging for affection from women? Is it all the talk shows telling us women want a sensitive guy or a macho man? Well, guy, how does it feel to spend $200 on a couple of dates and never hear from the girl again? Doc Love's The System can change all that. 35-plus years of Doc Love's life has been devoted to a simple question posed to over 10,000 women. Why do you choose to stay with one guy versus another? Doc Love's The System is a realistic approach to dating written just for men. Visit DocLove.com today. That's DocLove.com today for more about The System.
It's time to reclaim your manhood. DocLove.com. The system will change your life.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage. Music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
Yo, we're back again. We just had Mr. J. King on the Changing Stage. Past 45 minutes now, we've got a very special guest, a local boy who's making good. Mr. Dave Chesavage, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Well, obviously not a name everybody knows yet, but they're going to know, at least in the music business, because you've got some great product that you've created for Nord synthesizers. You've created it for other synthesizers. I know people can't see it, but there will be when we put it on our social media pages and everything. Dave, tell us about your product.
Well, what it is it's a drawbar. It's a Hammond organ drawbar controller designed for keyboards that make the Hammond organ sound, but don't have the drawbars. So on Hammond organ, the drawbars are the individual sliders that you can push and pull in real time and change the shape of the sound. And one of the most popular keyboards that came out that emulates the Hammond organ sound is made by a Swedish company. And the first one was called the Nord Electro. Now they have the Nord Stage and the Nord C1 and C2. And all these instruments do a really, really convincing Hammond organ emulation, but they don't actually have drawbars. What they have are little push buttons that you have to push to change your drawbar settings. And for anyone who, came up playing Hammond organ, it's kind of a jarring transition. It takes some getting used to. So what I wanted was a device that you could just reach up and grab, just like on a real Hammond organ, and change the drawbars, and such a thing didn't exist.
Yeah, I'm feeling this right now, and it's exceptionally smooth. It's got a nice flow to it. Obviously we're not listening to it right now, but if it controls like it feels, I know this is pretty awesome. Now, this is kind of a unique product to just kind of jump into the music instrument pool with. What prompted this?
Well, I am a gigging musician, and I wanted this box to exist, and it didn't. And so I made one for myself originally, and I mentioned it on, there's a Yahoo group dedicated to the Nord Electro, and I mentioned on this mailing list that I was building one of these things for myself. And I just started getting inundated with emails. Like, I probably got 10 emails in the first 3 days from people saying, like, can you make one for me? And I thought, well, I don't know. And so, like a good engineer, I opened up an Excel spreadsheet and figured out, put together a bill of materials and what it would cost to build such a thing, and was really surprised to learn that it didn't take an insane amount of money of upfront money to start up and try to start building these things. So I just kind of put one foot in front of the other, and a couple of years later, it's now being sold through Sweetwater, which is one of the largest online retailers in the U.S.
Yeah, we buy gear from them all the time. It's huge.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, it's nice actually to have money flowing the other way. Finally, first time in my life.
That's cool.
And then the largest music retailer in Canada, which is Long and McQuaid, they carry it. And the largest retailer in Europe, Thomann, also carries it. And you can order it direct also off our website, which is www.oceanbeachdigital.com.
Yeah. So you were on a blog site or something of that nature where you actually posted that out. Are you a keyboard player?
I am. So I play in a couple local bands here in San Diego.
Okay.
And like I said, I've been gigging with Nord keyboards for at least 15 years. So it's something that just, I'd always wanted to exist. And then at some point it dawned on me that, like, okay, maybe this is my job. It's my job to actually, I'm the guy who has to do this.
Yeah. Now, is this your full-time gig now, or are you?
It kind of goes in dribs and drabs. So I do contract engineering work also.
Okay. And
so this actually started in a lull between contracts. I just kind of had some downtime, and I thought, well, I'm going to just, go and try to, have a go at this. And what's nice is that I work out of the house, so I have no overhead.
Yeah.
And actually most of it's made locally. So the sheet metal, it's a beautiful cabinet that it's in, is made up in Pasadena.
Oh, wow.
And the circuit boards are made in Colorado.
American made, folks. That's not very common here.
Yeah. In fact, mostly California made. The circuit boards come from Colorado. Those are imported. But, and then the electronic assembly happens. Actually, it's funny because when I pulled into your studio, so we're in a studio here in Serrano Valley, in San Diego. And the place that used to do the assembly was in the next building, like right next door.
Oh, wow.
Right on Barnes Canyon. And they've since moved down to Chula Vista. But it's two brothers that run this electronic assembly shop, and they've got the robots that, stick all the parts down. And so it's all that stuff is done locally.
Well, and that's incredible. And like I said, you're just kind of getting into it. I'm hoping that we see some more product from you. Any thoughts on other devices?
I've got a couple things I'm tinkering with, and a lot of times you kind of go down a path and then you figure out, is there really like a business case for this?
Is there a market for it?
Yeah, exactly. Like this, what was nice about this is it was a very targeted market, and it's a niche enough market that no one else, I think, hopefully would be crazy enough to go into. And it's such a narrowly focused thing. But also there was a lot of pent-up demand, because if you talk to anyone who plays Nords, like that's their one issue, is that the thing sounds great, it's light, they're super well built, they're indestructible practically.
They're definitely the choice of keyboard musicians.
Yeah, you go to any show and you see that red keyboard on stage, and
it's very obvious.
So that's my goal, is to have a little red box on top of every one of those little red keyboards.
That's Paul Berezetsky, my producer's ambition. He's actually wearing a red shirt. He wants a Nord lead.
Yeah, Nord lead's cool. That's right. Yeah.
We went to to NAMM show, and I couldn't pull him away. We were trying to say, hey man, there's a guitar over here. He plays guitar, and he's like, no, let me stay on this.
I know like two things to play on a keyboard, and I was just doing it for
in every booth.
Yeah, in every booth, the same song.
But then he's like, in that booth, it was like, okay, you got two songs, brother. Do you need to spend an hour doing that?
Yeah, you can spend, I go to the NAMM show every year, and you can just get lost wandering up and down all those halls, and
You want to give us a clue of what might be coming out next, or?
Well, like I said, but at this point, because I've got nothing that's close enough, within sort of striking distance, I don't know that anything's going to come to fruition. So I'd prefer not to talk about any vapor.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Well, no, that's all right. I just don't want to create a vaporware situation.
Yeah. No, or give out a good idea. So.
Yeah, or give out a good idea.
I had to put my entrepreneur hat.
It's not a problem. And like I said, nothing at this point. Honestly, I don't have anything sort of foreseeable. I have been adding a lot of capabilities to this product. So one thing that's nice is that with this the drawbar controller, I post updated software on the website.
Okay.
So for example, I just recently added support. Roland came out with a new keyboard that they showed at NAMM this year, the FA06 and FA08, which it's sort of the guts of the Integra 7, which is a really powerful rack-based workstation. And they've repackaged that into a couple keyboards, and those have actually a pretty good Hammond organ sound, along with all the other great Roland sounds that everybody loves. But they use a non-standard MIDI scheme for controlling the drawbars. So they're doing it all with what's called a system exclusive message, which is a manufacturer specific message. So I recently
I come from that background, so I understand.
Cool, gotcha. So I recently added Roland SysX support to the DB1. So even someone who bought one of these drawbar controllers 3 years ago can go on the website, flash in the new code, and now they can control, the Roland FA0608, Korg Kronos is in there. There's a couple different Kurzweil keyboards it supports.
Awesome.
Actually, Hammond Suzuki has, they have a couple keyboards that only have one set of drawbar controllers. So I've had requests from people who want to use a second keyboard as a lower organ manual, so it supports that as well.
Awesome. So, folks, go to Dave's website. Dave, real quickly, what's the website?
OceanBeachDigital.com.
Thank you very much, Dave Chesavage from Ocean Beach Digital. Jay King, always amazing, from Club Nouveau. This is Florentino from The Changing Stage on the WS Radio Network. Signing out for today. Well, actually, no, we got another show that's going to be broadcast after this. So make sure you stay tuned.
Progressive Medical.
Hey, this is Heidi Rue, and you know, Progressive Medical Center has literally changed my life and my health, but I'm not the only one. Adele suffered from bone deterioration, bone overgrowth, profound muscle discomfort, physical exhaustion, and mental fog. In fact, the bone deterioration becomes so serious that she had to have back surgery. Well, after the surgery, she still didn't feel well, and so that's when she heard about Progressive Medical Center. Progressive Medical Center discovered that her adrenals weren't working properly, her hormones were out of whack, and the drugs she had been taking were doing more harm than good. Adele came into Progressive Medical Center in a walker, physically and mentally exhausted. But now she's a world traveler. She hikes and walks several miles a day, and it's all thanks to Progressive Medical Center. 770-676-6000. 770-676-6000.
Progressive Medical. This is your life. Live it well.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind. Connected World Magazine is dedicated to reporting on the next generation of M2M and connected devices. Subscribe today for only $12.97 at connectedworldmag.com/subscribe. Written for the fast-paced, device-enthused individual or business, Connected World Magazine provides unique insight and analysis to all things connected. Subscribe today for only $12.97 at connectedworldmag.com/subscribe. Connected World. Living the connected life has never been easier.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Hi, this is Felix Taberna, host of Race and Sports Radio. Join our cast and crew every Saturday and Sunday right here at WSRadio.com, beginning at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Race and Sports Radio.